If you invest in yourself, it's always going to pay the very best dividends.
Welcome to the Navigating Abundance podcast. Our goal is to encourage you to pursue your total family wealth potential through insightful conversation with experts and thought leaders in their fields. But first, some obligatory disclosures. Navigating Abundance podcasts do not represent investment, legal, or tax advice. Any opinion expressed in Navigating Abundance podcast is solely those of Christopher Tanke and his guests and are based upon information believed to be reliable but not guaranteed. Podcasts are produced for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered an endorsement of the guest or the views that they hold. Information shared may not be appropriate for your personal situation. Consult a qualified advisor for guidance. Investment advisory services are offered through Strategic Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Navigating Abundance is a trademark of Strategic Financial Group, LLC. And now here's your host, Chris Tanke.
Welcome back to Navigating Abundance. Today I'm going to be letting my hair down, so to speak, a little bit and sharing with you a very valuable lesson of success that my mom taught to me back when I was about 8 years old. That lesson has stood by me over the years. As a matter of fact, I applied it even this very morning. Now, you have to understand, my mother was not a businesswoman. She was a stay-at-home mom. She had a high school education. She worked a little bit helping my dad through grad school, but she was not a high-powered entrepreneur by any stretch of the imagination. But she taught me a very valuable lesson on succeeding. I learned that lesson when I was 8 years old, probably on a January morning, coming in from shoveling walks in our apartment complex. And at that point, I was a young, budding entrepreneur, and we would get 50 cents a walk for everyone we shoveled. And in an apartment complex, you could do one after another, after another, after another. There was big money in shoveling walks. Now, in my head, my currency wasn't 50 cents. My currency was Matchbox cars. Do you remember those? If some of you are old enough, this is well before Hot Wheels. It came in a little Matchbox. There was a car, a die-cast car, and it was really great. And for 50 cents, you could buy one. So I'm tallying up in my head as my toes are frozen in those silly buckled down boots with no insulation. Coming back home, I don't know, I'm going to get 15 Matchbox cars or whatever it was. Very excited. My mom met me at the door, got the boots off, poured the hot chocolate, sat down and said, "Well, Chris, how did you do today?" I said, "Mom, wow, I can't remember, 15. 15 walks, so $7.50. I'm in high cotton now." She said, "Okay, well, what are you going to do with that money?" "Well, I'm buying Matchbox cars." She said, "Yes, you can do that with some of your money, but you can only do that after you do something else." And I said, "What is that?" And she said, "You have to buy yourself a shovel." "What?" Yeah, you have to buy yourself, honey, a shovel. "What's wrong with this shovel?" "Well, you have to learn as a young business person that you have to spend money to make money. You have to spend money to make money." I don't know where she got it, but it was true. And I also know that I didn't get as many Matchbox cars as I had hoped because we marched off to the hardware store to make that a reality. Fast forward, I'm probably 12, 13 years old and discovered very quickly if I bought an Aaron snow thrower, 2-stage, that I could really throw a lot of snow and make some serious money. And of course, I wasn't into Matchbox cars then. It was much more expensive currency. You had to spend money to make money. I totally got it. When I started this business, Strategic Financial Group, in 2005, I was coming out of ministry, essentially. Never made a whole lot in ministry, just the way that it worked and the kind of missions that we were taking on, churches we were taking on. All my money was tied up in my house. All the equity of my house was kind of all that we had to start this spinning. We sold the house, took that equity and everything else we owned and put it all into the business. I kind of liken it to a Texas Hold'em game. I pushed everything, all my equity into the table and said, we're all in with Strategic Financial Group. That was a serious commitment. That was honoring my mother's advice. You got to spend money to make money. Boy, did we ever spend money. And you know what? After we got through the first couple scary years, Man, have we been blessed by making that decision? Mom was right. You got to spend money to make money. If you invest in yourself, it's always going to pay the very best dividends, right? We have sometimes people come to our office and say, wow, I'd like to invest. And I say, what do you do? Well, I'm a farmer. Okay. Are you good at it? Oh, yes. Okay. Do you need any more equipment? Well, yeah, we've been thinking about this or that. I said, why don't you just don't give us your money? Why don't you invest in the farm equipment? Why don't you buy more land? And they're surprised that I'm saying, love to manage your money, but you know your business. You know what you do. You're good at it. Invest in yourself. It always pays the best dividends. If you're a business owner, you understand that, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. And sometimes it's scary, and sometimes you have to borrow to make it happen or leverage to make it happen. But if you don't plow into your practice or your business, you're probably going to fall behind. It's just what you have to do. You have to front load your success by spending money, by investing in yourself. You need shovels. You should go buy them. So what does this all have to do with total family wealth? After all, Navigating Abundance is about encouraging you to pursue your total family wealth. Well, as you know, we are going to bat for the concept of 3 areas of capital, 3 areas of riches that you have. Your ledger wealth, which is your financial capital, your logistical wealth, which is your functional capital, and your legacy wealth, your family capital. In all 3 areas, you have to spend money to make money or to make progress or receive success, right? So in your ledger wealth, obviously, you're paying maybe financial advisors, real estate property managers. You have a business enterprise that takes a lot of your money. Yes, right. You got to spend money to make money. You understand that. Logistical wealth, same thing, right? You understand that professionals don't come inexpensively. If you have a really crackerjack team, you could be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to keep that team together outside of your business even. Your attorneys, your CPAs, your advisors, wills, trusts, things that you're continuing to monitor and to improve, et cetera. And under logistic wealth also is a family office. Some of you have that, or you're involved with a multifamily office. That doesn't cost $300 a year. It's okay. It's okay. You've got to spend money to make money. There is no other way to do it. And then finally, legacy wealth, your family capital. And I would like to kind of close in on this one as we come in for a landing. We understand spending money for financial capital. We understand spending money for functional capital. How about spending money on your family capital? In the end, 50 years from now, that's all that would be really important or mattering on your stamp on your family is your legacy wealth. All the other stuff is just stuff. So, again, we want to encourage you to be balanced and to make sure that you're spending time, money, effort on your legacy wealth. For instance, your family capital. Family ethos is one of the things that we encourage you to develop. That's your family spirit. Perhaps to make that happen, you should entice your family members to go on a really nice retreat, a week retreat, every summer somewhere, and make it nice. You're going to Florence, and it's going to cost a lot of money. And your in-law children are going to want to go because, oh, we're going to Florence? Let's make that happen. It's going to be great. Spend $50,000. Spend $100,000. If this is in your wheelhouse. That will be invaluable to your relationships and your opportunities to put family spirit into your kids. Family wellness, that's another area of legacy wealth that we encourage you to develop. And, we can think in terms of formal education. Of course, we should be helping our kids and our grandchildren and whatnot in appropriate ways to get their education and to realize who all they're supposed to be. But what about practical education? You can get a pencil. You're going to like this. You can jot this down write down Tamarind Learning. This is the work of Kirby Rosbleck, PhD, who is very well respected in the family office space. And she has created, and along with her staff, what they call the ABS program, the Accredited Beneficiary Stewardship Program, that deals with things such as education, administration, financial planning, estate planning, trust planning, tax planning, investing, fiduciary oversight, trustee, and beneficiary relationships. You can take a whole course, or your kids could take a whole course through a period, I think, of a couple of years and peck away at trying to complete all of these areas of understanding. Now, some people aren't going to want to do that, but I bet a lot of you have kids that would appreciate that. Is it free? It is not free, but I think it's certainly reasonable. And who cares if it costs $20,000 and it does not cost that much? You got to spend money to make money. Or family practice, to have a family meeting. Many of you would do well to fly in a facilitator for that. It's very difficult to lead a family meeting and participate in the family meeting at the same time. It's great to have a third party, to have some kind of an expert there, some voice of authority. You might get a whole lot more out of that dimension. Is it free? No. You've got to spend money to make money. So in the end, Mom was right. If you're going to invest in anything of value, you want to invest in yourself and your family first, because that will always pay the best dividends. This is Chris Tanke with Navigating Abundance saying thank you, Mom, and letting you know it's true. Your family is worth it.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Navigating Abundance. If you found this information useful or helpful in any way, let us know in the comments section below. If you'd like to see more content like this and follow our podcast, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. If you're interested in working with today's guests, you can find their information in the description of this podcast. If you'd like to know more about Navigating Abundance and how we may help you, or find more resources related to what we do, you can find those at navigatingabundance.com.